Is my math right? Is that 53 years ago today? Hey, hey, we're the Monkees. 53 years ago today, my very, very first rock and roll concert. 1967, a special year, the summer of love. And man, did we love the Monkees. I was living in Bristol, Tennessee at the time. My wonderful mother decided that we would go see the Monkees. The reason she decided we would go see the Monkees is because the year before, and the year before, and the year before, from 64, 65, and 66, I had begged Mom to take us to see the Beatles. But she said in 1966, next year we'll go see the Beatles live. But if you know your history, there was no Beatles 67 tour. But when the Monkees came around, I was fascinated with the Monkees. Used to run home on Monday nights to see the Monkees when they were on TV. And Mom came up with tickets for me, my sister, herself. She went with us to the Monkees, and one of my best friends in the neighborhood and his mom too. The five of us drove from Bristol, Tennessee to Greensboro, North Carolina. At that time, now this is 1967, pre-interstate. There was no easy way to get there. It was all basically small two-lane roads and lots of red lights. It took about 8 or 9 hours to go what takes about 3, maybe 4 maximum today. So it was a big excursion, a big deal for my mom to drive us as children. I was 13. My sister was about 7 at that time. And it was a big deal to go to a rock and roll concert. Mom was always a musician, if you've music oriented at least. If you've seen my other shows and things, you know, Mom loved Fats Domino, Little Richard, and gospel swing, gospel music. And when the Beatles came along, she loved the Beatles. And when the Monkees came along, she really loved the Monkees. I could tell. I remember watching her doing the dishes and dancing to Mary Mary. It was a wonderful thing. And Mom was very supportive of all myself and my sister very much. So she was driving us from Bristol to Greensboro, North Carolina for the very first Monkees concert ever. It was wonderful. And we got there, found out we had like 13th row seats. That says 203. Well, the 200 sections were the ones that were right up against the stage in this arena, at least in Greensboro. And we were just yards away from ready to see the Monkees. And the place was packed with kids. But if you know your Monkees history too, and music history, the opening act for this show in Greensboro was the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Unbelievable that the mismatch, I suppose, of Hendrix and the Monkees would be on the same bill together. There was incredible. Mickey tells a story where he remembers being backstage and hearing the fans chanting, "We want the Monkees, we want Davy, we want the Monkees." Well, I was there, and I can tell you for sure, I remember the chants, "We want the Monkees, we want Davy," and a lot of, what the hell is this on stage right now? Hendrix band only played 3 or 4 songs, but I remember the impression, at least on me, that they made, because at 13, my juices were ready for something like that. I can still vividly remember he had on purple satin pants, and there was a cut in the knee where he was going down on his knees and playing and gyrating so much with a guitar like that, and the big head of afro hair there. It was just so unusual and very visually jarring at the time. And the last thing he did is he left the stage, he threw his guitar up over his head, and it landed on the stage. And again, I'm thinking, he could have given that to me. He didn't have to throw it and trash it, but I certainly remember had the impression that the Hendrix opening act made on me as a 13-year-old child. But then when the Monkees came out, all was forgotten and forgiven, because the Monkees did about an hour and 10-minute set of just the greatest hits of the moment. It was so wonderful. If you've heard the live in 67, that is pretty much a full set list of what they played there. Wonderful show. And that always inspired me to first, one thing I enjoyed seeing was watching the Monkees actually play their instruments, because they actually did play their instruments, of course, but to see how they were forming chords, first time in my life I had actually seen musicians playing rock and roll music in front of an audience like that. So I think that might have been one of the first inspirations to say, I believe I could do that too. I can put my hands in those positions and learn to play bass or learn to play guitar from that, as much as seeing the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show. But the Monkees set was, they opened with their big hits, did the little solo set with the changes of outfits and things, came back with the double-breasted shirts, and finished with another set of heavy-duty hits. And they had some great songs, funny songs, novelty songs. Mike wrote some really powerful songs, especially in his solo career. But because of becoming a Monkees fan, I accumulated a whole lot of Monkees memorabilia. As a kid myself, just wanted to share a little bit of that with you on this special date for me. Got let's see, one start right up here. Got the TV guide, that's a center of a picture disc, a poster from Teen Set magazine of Davey there. Looks like he's playing pool. A game, board game. I've had Davey. If you look very closely, you can see Peter's signature in there. Mickey has signed it as well. Toy guitar there. Now, this one is not from my original collection. That's something I found in a flea market a few years ago. Same for the tambourine. That's not from my original collection, but it has also had Davey, Peter, and Mickey sign that one as well. A TV guide with Davey and Peter and Mickey signed that. The instructions for the card game, the board game. A hand puppet with every finger a different monkey. Little the finger puppets as well. The Monkey Mobile that I made with my hands as a child. Oh, that was in the prime spot in the collection. Lunchbox. I think Thermos lost the lunchbox over the years. Another toy guitar. This is a hang tag that was attached to the shirts. When you bought a double-breasted shirt, I had the shirts, and I actually got Davey to sign that little card for me a few years back as well. Met Davey several times over the years. He was such a sweetheart. Took us backstage and gave us seats at the Brady Bunch show when they did one time. A Monkees kazoo from a more recent concert here. We've got a Monkees flip your wig game. Sorry, Beatles flashback. Flip movies, flasher pins. Flasher rings. A little trading card, all kinds of trading cards from the Monkees too. They had, just like the Beatles had their bubblegum card. Beatles had bubblegum cards. The Monkees had trading cards as well, and color cards. These are more recent cards. A photo autographed by the three of them. Little pins here like the Beatles badges. This is the badge from the concert. Bought that. That's a one owner high mileage item there. Bought that on this date in 1967. Scratched my name in the back so it would be distinguished from my sister's badge that didn't survive quite as well, but Mom bought us both badges while we were there. Got some sheet music and other magazines. Monkey Story, Monkey Sheet Music, I'm a Believer, Monkey Scrapbook, picture sleeves of all the key singles. Davey was in Oliver on the Ed Sullivan Show the same night as the Beatles, if you know your Beatle and Monkey crossover history there. Another piece of sheet music. Davy Jones boxer shorts. They sold those and he signed those. If you can see it right there, it's kind of faded a bit now, but Davy signed my boxer shorts right there. A sweatshirt up here that I wore many times to school, and that would have been seventh grade for me. Another teen set poster over there of Mickey laying in the grass. Here's a neat, that is off the back of a cereal box, actual record, and a few albums across the spare bed here. Picture discs. The Monkees got the similar treatment as to the way the Beatles were treated with the Golden Gate Strings, Monkey Business album, a Floyd Kramer saluting the Beatles, the Living Strings playing the Beatles, playing the Monkees. All kinds of comic books. The Monkees comic books were such fun, so much fun. A few bootleg albums over here. An odd Davy Jones solo album. The oddity of that one being the fact it's got an odd hype sticker with it there. A Nesmith type cap came from the more recent concerts. And a few more. Oh, I wanted to show these first. Got a group of concert programs from the 86 program. That's the 86 program there, the first time they came back out. And the 96 program, the Good Times program, 2012 program, the 3 Nesmith, Dolans, and Torque outing, and the Mike Nesmith and Mickey Dolenz show, and that program signed by the 2 of them. A few more signed albums. Got Peter and Davey both signed the More of the Monkees, and I also met Glenn Campbell and asked him to sign that one. He got a kick out of signing a Monkees album, or he seemed to. Monkees Head album. Davey, Peter, look very closely here. You can see Mickey. Can you see that?
Too shiny.
Too shiny, she says. And if you can see very closely in there, that's Ralph Shunkett. And he is the keyboard player for Utopia in the progressive Todd Rundgren band, and he was on that record too. Another surprise when I presented that to Ralph to have him sign that one at the Utopia concert. A couple of Mike Nesmith albums that Mike has signed for me. Got Joe Hobbs, Joe Chimay, and Nez signed it as well. The Prison signed to Rick. The Newer Stuff. What a great record that is. Nez put out some wonderful solo records too. The country material, the odd novelty tunes like Rio, and what's that song about? I'll Remember You mentions the Beatles in that song. Of course, in the Monkey songs, mention the Beatles 2 or 3 times as the 4 Kings of EMI. A sampler. That's got a Monkees tune on an odd sampler there. And that's a radio show from Nesmith. A few pieces of sheet music signed by 3 of those guys. Oh, this is Rip Taylor playing. He played Glick, the Wizard, on one of the episodes of the Monkees, and got his autograph on that photo. That's from the Teen Idol show that Peter Noon, Bobby Sherman, and Davy Jones did in Atlanta a few years back, or several years back. Yeah. I talked about comic books with the Beatles a few episodes ago, and there's Mickey on the cover of Teen Beam magazine with Peter Noon. They signed that one for me too. And for the Beatles crossover connection, of course, you know that Mickey and Mike, all of them visited during the Day in the Life sessions, and while they were recording Sgt. Pepper. And this photo ran in 16 magazine, a color photo with Paul and Mickey sitting cross-legged on the floor. And I got Mickey to sign that one day. I got the chance to tell Mickey the story of how my mom took us to the Monkees concert not too long ago, thanks to Jody putting the meet and greets together. And Mickey seemed to enjoy the fact that both the fact that it did have an impression on me as a child, and changed my music taste a little bit to at least include the more interesting music of Jimi Hendrix and stuff like that. So, and then this item is the tour program that Mom bought us in 1967. Beautiful, beautiful, elaborate tour program that they sold at the concert. And over the years, I had an encounter with all 4 of them to be able to get Davy and Mickey and Peter and Michael to add their signatures to the centerfold of the program. Also, over the years, like I said, it affected my taste in music to the point where I also got the guys from Hendrix to sign. That's Mitch Mitchell's autograph there and Noel Redding's autograph on some Hendrix albums for the impression that it made, because it really was a fork in the road that I chose to take for that type of music, but never turning the back on the pop music, the wonderful tunes that these guys, not necessarily the four kings of EMI, but certainly a lot of folks refer to them as the prefab four, but that fab sure stands for fabulous. They made some fabulous music as well, and thanks for helping me celebrate this special anniversary. 53 years ago, Ringo said in his interview with Rolling Stone the other day, he seems like he's still 24 in his mind. Well, these guys keep me 13 in my mind too. So thanks for celebrating the 13-year-olds in me and the 53rd year anniversary of this. Tuesday, I'm going to talk, because this is my first concert, Tuesday I'm going to talk about my first celebrity encounter, and that's a guy that's on at least 3 albums that I bet's in all of our collections. See you Tuesday. Peace and love. Hey, hey, we're the Monkees.